All right, so the first negative, which I still have yet to do something about, is my seat. I've had some people talk really good about this seat, but you're not going to hear anything good from me about this poor seat. I don't think I have the lowered one. At first it looked like it, but it's not. It's the regular seat. And y'all, this is probably the most uncomfortable seat that I've ever sat on. Now, I've totally just gotten used to it because I've done several 300-mile days on this thing, and my butt just hurts a little bit because I've gotten used to it. But this is definitely not a comfortable seat. I'm looking to upgrade to a sergeant seat pretty soon, but y'all know they don't just give those things away. But that's my one negative with that. Of course, the other negative for me was the windscreen. Obviously, I've put a much bigger windscreen on here. I would show you the other one, but I have no idea what I've done with it. This is, well, I'll tell you what kind of windshield it is a little bit later, but that's a negative. One of the other negatives that I have is when I get on this thing, and the mirrors are great, but I do have a problem. I've kind of gotten used to it, but as you can see, my shoulder gets caught in the mirror on both sides. So what I've learned to do is when I'm riding and I want to see behind me, my right mirror is the one I used to look behind me the most. I just kind of tuck my shoulder in and see what's back there behind me. That's not that big of a deal. It can be, handled with some extensions, which I have yet to get. But that's another negative. The mirrors seem to really clip my shoulder. Now, if you're not as big of a person as me, then that's probably not that big of a problem. Honestly, I'm probably about the biggest person you will see on a bike this size, but I love it. It's so easy to just throw around the curves and twisties, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so much fun riding this thing. One of the other negatives that I have is, and really I don't think it's a fault, it's just the way the bike is designed and the way it works. The shifting, when I shift into first from neutral, it's a really big clunk. And let me see if I can actually do that. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't do it. So check this out. Yeah, y'all heard that. And that's probably normal, but it's actually to the point to where sometimes when I'm sitting at a red light and I do it, it almost wants to lunge forward just a little bit. I guess that's just how they're made. My girlfriend's GS does that too. At first I thought I was braking something, and then when I downshift to first from second, I know you're passing neutral, but I mean, it still just makes a clunk, and I guess I just still haven't gotten used to it, but I mean, I've ridden on a Honda ST1300, and it did it just as bad as this. So really, I guess not that big of an issue with that. I think as far as negatives go, that's probably about it. I can't say a whole lot more negative about this bike, except I'm not really sure what to do about this. I don't think there's a remedy for us, but y'all, this thing gets filthy. I mean, it gets absolutely filthy. My box gets filthy. It's kind of hard to see there. Let's see if I can turn the flash on this thing. No, I can't. I have to turn on in a second. But y'all, this thing gets so filthy on the back. And I just have to clean it. It's not really that big of a deal. My chain guard helps me a little bit. But, I mean, it just gets downright dirty back here. Thankfully, the front stays really, really clean. Like, seriously, this fender up here does a superb job of keeping everything up here clean. Even the oil filter and things down there get a little bit dirty, but nothing bad. I mean, the back just gets horrendously dirty. But I've just learned to, hey, just suck it up and clean it. No big deal. It's part of life, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through some of the improvements. Well, I don't want to say improvements, but some of the accessories that I've added to this bike to make my riding experience a little bit more enjoyable. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is show you some of my improvements. The biggest thing I've gotten so far, well, not price-wise, but improvement-wise, is my windshield. This is an 18-inch standard windshield from C. Bailey's. Now, everyone knows the other one was about right here, so look at what I get up here. Now, unfortunately, this windscreen is still not tall enough for me. So, whenever you sit on them, you're supposed to maybe be looking about like that, where it's, your eye level is just right above the windscreen. Well, let me show you what my eye level looks like. Yep, so still not a lot of wind protection for my face, but I will tell you that it offers tons of wind and rain protection from my torso and everything. Actually, just this evening I went riding, And the only thing that really got wet was my arms, basically from my biceps out. You know, my legs stay pretty tucked in and dry behind the, I don't really want to call it a fairing, but the body panels. But yeah, this thing doesn't offer much protection as far as my face and everything, which is not that big of a deal. But I do plan to get I think the biggest is a 22 inch, so it'll come up a little higher, which will be awesome. But it comes with a bracket to hold it, because it does wobble a little bit, but nothing to be concerned about. Another accessory that I've added is a RAM mounts X grip for my phone. Works brilliantly. This thing is awesome. It does not let go. And you put it just here on your handlebars, over here, wherever you want it, and adjust it every which way you possibly can think of. It is awesome. I think it'll actually hold a pretty decent sized GPS unit if you put it in there too. But I just use my phone for GPS right now because BMW doesn't exactly give those things away. So looking over here reminds me, I've upgraded the horn on this thing. All of you know the little pitiful scooter horn that it has. Well, I've upgraded. I literally just went to Advanced Auto Parts and got a $16, I think it might be a Wolo horn or something like that, but it's just a car horn. Let's see if I can do this without waking the neighborhood up. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Everyone's asleep right now. But it is awesome. I could not put it in the original spot, so I got a little bit creative and used one of the radiator mounts and just stuck it down here. Works perfectly, and I will promise you one thing: they're going to hear you a lot better with this horn as opposed to what came on it. No offense, BMW, but that was an absolutely pitiful horn. Oh yeah, one of the other upgrades I've made is the headlights. Y'all check this out. It's an LED conversion kit. Yeah, of course, the high beam. I mean, it puts out an absolutely incredible amount of light. It's made my riding experience much better. Feel a lot safer. It really shines down the road a lot further. Oh yeah, the prices. The windscreen I paid $170 for. The phone mount I paid $50 for at my local Cycle Gear. And these LED light kits I paid $70 for total at my local Cycle Gear. Now I had to get a little crafty and do some rigging in the back, which is probably not up to factory standard, but it works for me. So the other upgrade, I have a Sedisi bag back here because I will never have a passenger. My girlfriend has her own bike. We never ride two up unless it's an emergency. And this thing is awesome. It's got pockets all around. Huge pocket here, and it actually expands up to about this tall if you want to put something big in it. I love it for putting stuff in it. It is nowhere near weatherproof, waterproof. It does come with a cover though, but awesome, awesome storage. And I think I paid $90 for it at Cycle Gear. And then of course my most glorified modification has been my GV box. I posted a video on this and you can see the link down there at the bottom of the screen for it. This is my GV box, my GV V47. Let me grab the key and just show you that really quick. I know some of you probably aren't watching this for the accessories, but I'm going to show you anyway. Put some lights in here, jazz it up a little bit. But y'all, this is the absolute best investment you can make for a motorcycle. This bad boy was $300, but guess what? It is worth every single penny of it. No more backpacks. It's absolutely incredible. Really well made construction. The box is $300. I paid $100 for the mounting plate. I actually got the box off of RevZilla. I got the mounting plate off of RevZilla, and I got the box off of Amazon. Best investment I've made yet for my bike. Oh, and that reminds me, one more thing. My brake lights. Now, the brake light on this thing is actually bright, but I got some what's called hyper lights. They flash like that all the time, and I don't know if I can reach around. But when I pull on the brake lever, they come on really bright and flash. So it really just gets people's attention. Those were about, I think, $30 at my local Cycle Gear. And they're super easy to install. Just run it up to the back, punch a hole in the well by the brake light, and just wire it right in. Absolutely nothing to it. And FYI, for those of you like me that have done tons of wiring on trucks and trailers, on this one, the brown is not for your brake light or your running light. The brown is actually the straight up ground, I believe. I just remember that when I was wiring it was totally backwards from what I was expecting. As far as maintenance goes, I've put a new rear tire and a new front tire on it. These are Bridgestone Battle Wings. They're basically 80% on-road, 20% off-road. I have replaced the brake pads front and back. Also got those and the wheels from my local Cycle Gear. I think for the entire set of tires is like 200 bucks. And for the brake pads front and back, it was like, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks. Super, super cheap. Super easy to change. Next time I do the maintenance on this thing, I will make videos. I've changed the oil once. I'm 1,000 miles from another oil change. It's super easy. The oil plug is just right here, and the filter is right up here in the front. Super easy. I was really intimidated about tightening the chain because it had to do with, loosening the rear wheel. Well, don't worry. It is easy. Follow the instructions, and your number one friend is your torque wrench. Do not work on this thing without some sort of torque wrench, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to go down the road, and if something is not torqued right, then hey, you're in trouble, and something's going to vibrate loose on you. So don't do that. I also have a chain oiler on this thing. I don't know if you can quite see it right there. I put some 90 weight gear oil in it. That's probably the stupidest decision I've ever made in my life. It got absolutely everywhere. Now, it kept my chain nice and lubed, but it got everywhere. But I'm about to put a new chain and sprockets on this thing because I don't think the guy before me did a very good job of keeping his chain clean, and the wear is really showing. So I'm going to do that fairly soon. I really cannot think of any other negatives on this bike or any modifications I've made. What I will say though is that this right here is an absolute lie. We all know that this is BMW's parallel twin 798cc engine, and y'all, let me tell you something. This thing will leave the old 650GS in the stinking dust. This thing is fast and it's scary. I mean, those of you that ride 1200s and stuff like that, you go, oh yeah, whatever. I'm telling you, this thing is awesome. It's not too much power, but it's just enough power to get you going. And this thing full of luggage, and then me, I weigh about 240 pounds. It has absolutely no problem carrying me around. And I know I said that in the last video, but look, I've done several long days on this thing. And at the end of the day, I'm a little tired, but I'm not beat up by any means. It's really an awesome bike. I can't wait to put more and more miles on this thing. We're planning a big trip in September, and hopefully I will have my side cases by then. But if you have any comments or questions, just send them in below, and I will do my best to address those. I'll probably be putting some more videos up pretty soon, hopefully getting the GoPro and do some riding videos pretty soon. But let me crank it one more time just so you can hear it. Still cranks just like the day I got it. Hadn't had to put any battery or nothing in it. And anyway, so I'm going to crank it, do a walk around, let it idle, and I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a blessed day.